special little performance for you tonight. We're going to go from the beginning of time and space to us.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from Israel, right here.
How'd you find out about the Grateful Dead here in Israel?
My friend Shimon, alav shalom, he gave me an album when I was 15, a couple of albums. He said, you're probably going to like it. You're going to like it. And I liked it. And after the album, I went to see Dead shows with my dear wife, Esti.
What does it mean that Mickey Hart is playing tonight, bringing that Grateful Dead vibe here?
It means that Mashiach is on his way. We are thrilled that Mickey's here.
Dude, I've been waiting for this for a long time, man. The pinnacle of my summer, man, is him coming.
I think it's awesome that he's here.
Since 1995.
I mean, look how many of these guys don't come, but leave it to the Dead to come through in the clutch.
Right.
You know?
Well, for me, it's a Dead show. It's nothing else but a Dead show.
Because Mickey has a soul, and Mickey's in touch with his soul, I think. Yeah.
You're obviously American, and you're into the Dead. What in the world brought you to Jerusalem in the first place?
What brought me to Jerusalem was a spiritual search.
I'm here because there's something very spiritual about being here, and like I really connect to living here. I mean, I'm Jewish, man. Like I feel the footsteps as I walk them, you know. And I think there's something very spiritual in nature about Mickey coming out here. You know,
and do you see any sort of like correlation between the Grateful Dead philosophy and Judaism?
100%, of course. 100. There's this organization called Blues for Challah. I don't know if anyone heard from it, but it's about getting people who love the Dead together for Shabbos, because like this environment over there, you know, about like just really letting everybody groove on what they need to groove on. Like we say, v'ahavta recha kamocha, which really means like once I can get in tune with myself, I can love everybody else. And like the white space that's played in the music of the Grateful Dead, like when they're not playing, when there's those spaces, like that's really where I could like find myself. And like, you know, Jerry's guitar or like whatever, Mickey or anybody, you know, brings back and starts like the song again when like they're done with the jam and like they come back. So like that's what it's all about. It's all about like coming back.
Do you see any correlation between the Grateful Dead vibe and Jerusalem and the Jewish people in here in Israel?
Other than acid, not really.
Absolutely, that's the whole point of Torah and mitzvot and Shabbos, Shabbat and Chagim. And, also the tribal feeling that I felt the years that I spent going to Grateful Dead concerts. There were many Jewish people in the audience, and many of us rediscovered our Judaism through the music of the Grateful Dead.
And one of the main teachings of Rabbi Nachman is to be grateful. So that's the whole Torah.
Whoa.
It's to be grateful and connect to the tzaddikim who are called alive even when they're dead.
I actually got into the Dead as I got into Judaism. As I got more into spiritual Judaism, I got more into the Dead. They kind of came hand in hand.
Individuals like Roger Waters who are actually trying to tell people not to come to Israel and play here in Israel. What do you think the difference is between the Grateful Dead, Mickey Hart, Pink Floyd, and Roger Waters?
What's different, I think, is you got to get to the spiritual root of what it's about. And when you get to the spiritual root about, you realize that Israel and the Jewish people and everything we're doing here is truth. It's really truth, and that we're up against a lot of heavy things, and yet through all of that, we shine spiritual light to the world. The Jewish people who have moved, especially Americans who have moved here, are real lights. We're bringing it's an ingathering of the light, and I think, just really the artists who come here who really see that and understand don't just come for a paycheck, but someone like Mickey Hart came out of his way. He doesn't need to perform here. I think he feels that Jerusalem is the center of a lot of spiritual energy, and that the Jewish people being here is actually a positive thing and a good thing and a reason to be here, not chas v'shalom, a reason to not be here.
I have members like Roger Waters and the Pink Floyd who are advocating not playing here in Israel, and yet members of the Grateful Dead are. Why do you think that is?
Misconceptions.
Not to get political, but it's a reflection of Mickey Hart and the Grateful Dead's open-mindedness, the whole San Francisco scene. And that was what it was all about. And it's not about being political, it's about bringing beautiful culture and amazing music and rhythm to everyone in the world.
Look for a little music magic together.
So, the 70s, the 60s, it was like a time of liberalism, a time of inclusiveness. And yet we see some of the iconic figures from that era who are actually advocating for people not to play here in Israel, like Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. Why do you think that is?
I think they're either on the bus or you're off the bus.
they're interested in money. They're into money, and apparently Mickey Hart thinks it's more important to support Israel than false publicity or bad publicity. He's into the truth.
Yeah, whenever there's a revelation of a very high light, there's also a lot of klipot, a lot of like negativity and confusion, and it's easy. Most people will probably be swept away by the confusion of the situation. But if you're connected with simplicity to the truth, so.
And the fact that there's artists like Roger Waters of Pink Floyd who are advocating for people not to play in Israel.
Right.
And the fact that Mickey Hart's sort of gone against the grain and has stood up to the threats of the BDS movement. How does that make you feel? How do you feel, Mickey Hart? Why do you think he's done that?
I think it gives me a sense of pride. I think Mr. Waters is a very mistaken man, but he comes from a long tradition of people who hate the Jewish people, and that's what he is. He's not a BDS supporter, he's an anti-Semite. That's what he is. But Mr. Hart represents hope, and he understands that something is happening here. I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him.
I'll tell you what I think. Roger Waters, Pink Floyd was kind of very heavy. It's very kind of like more on the side of depressing. The Grateful Dead was always like into happiness, you share your love. It was like family. It was like all of it, traveling. It was like a way of life. I mean, the Pink Floyd they made really good, nice music, but it didn't carry your life into a better place. It was just like something you bought and you listened to. But the Grateful Dead was always like something much deeper than just nice music.
Mickey Hart ignores the political pressure. He's just here to play music as a musician.
Roger Waters is invested in Roger Waters, okay? I really don't care what he says. He's inconsequential to the inescapable 4,000-year journey of the 12 indigenous tribes of the nation of Israel who are home and aren't going anywhere, okay? But you know what? It can be beautiful, right? As long as ugliness stops being injected into it. All the politicians and all the big mouths who go out there and think they know something. Roger Waters is one of them. He doesn't bring any light to the conversation, okay? So screw him. Mickey Hart is a much more refined spiritual soul. The thing for me is that I never thought that I would ever experience a night like this tonight again, until Mashiach is coming. I did 200 shows, more than 200 shows, 50 Jerry Band shows, Jerry Grisman. I was with Reb Shlomo Carlebach 35 years. There are moments, you're blessed if you're lucky to experience a moment of that's beyond. And this was one of those moments. This night was one of those moments.
We love you, Sussman!
And I could see that Mickey got it. Mickey felt it. And they all felt it. It was something that was bigger than everybody, and we all were on the trip.
I will tell my tribe. I will ask one thing of you, please. I would like you to take this wonderful feeling that we have here tonight, that we made together, and take it home and do some good with it. I mean, that's what this whole thing is really about. Don't think of it in those terms. So now you have that feeling, that energy. Go be kind to somebody. It really matters. The world's on fire. You're right in the middle of one of the hot spots right here. If you can't do it in your own heart, it can't be done. You can't give it away. It's not like a fake kind of thing. So this is the kind of energy that is. This collective energy is one of the beautiful things that music does. It brings people together, and it makes it better, at least while the music is playing. But don't leave it here. Don't leave the will here, the spirit here. Take it home. Do some good with it. Thank you again. Maybe we'll see you again sometime. Good night.